Game 1 and Game 2 in Boston, no damn way.
One win away for the Miami Heat from the NBA Finals.
Right, but then it was like, there's no way the Celtics don't get swept here.
Three consecutive wins by the Boston Celtics after they trailed in the series 3 games to none.
And there's no way in hell the Celtics come back and win 4 straight being down 3-0 to make NBA history.
They get real when it comes to the playoffs.
And yet, here we are, under 5 hours away from Game 7. And Big Perk, I still find myself saying, no freaking way. No one saw this coming.
No one. But guess what? I'm glad we're here.
Daddy Rich saw this coming. Daddy Rich saw it. And let me add a little bit something extra to it. Let's drink this in with your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let's say congratulations to Notre Dame. All you people joining us, anytime Duke loses, it's a beautiful day. I don't care what sport it is. But let's get back to the subject at hand. Can we roll the damn tape? Can we roll the tape?
I'm going to be the one person that believes in the Celtics.
Okay.
I think the Celtics are going to come back and win this series.
Win the series.
Win the series.
You're going break up.
Don't let them win one.
You're going win the series.
I've been down bad.
That was a good-looking man speaking up there.
No.
Speaking a whole lot of
Same
truth.
jacket, too.
No, different jacket. It just matches my caramel skin tone, so it looks similar on television.
All right, walk us through the end of Game 6 that led us to this point where you so far have been right.
Okay, well, let's pull it up. All right, right here. Obviously a foul. Now, look, Joe Mazzulla saved his timeouts. The reason why this was important is he had two timeouts left. He was able to challenge and still advance. So the challenge allowed for more time on the clock. We know what that did. And then the advancement. That's what put them in this position. Then here, well, this has already been dissected by every basketball mind in the world. So there's nothing new we're going to tell you other than look at this finish. And let me say this. I personally, Richard Jefferson is single-handedly the reason why they have the lights on the backboard. We'll get to that at one point in time. But I'm the reason why they got the lights. And the lights, they did us justice. Perk, what'd you see, big fella? Other than a good-looking man.
Everything you just said.
Yeah, that I was right.
Yeah.
And I called it. I called it 10 days ago.
You're not all the way in the clear because it is a Game 7 tonight.
Who you think gonna win?
Relax.
We're gonna wait. We're gonna hold that for a little bit
Exactly.
later in the show. Enough of you two for now. Let's take a listen to the Heat and the Celtics.
Who?
Joining us now, Brian, you were in Miami for that Game 6. Now you join us from Boston, but you were in the locker room. You were with the Celtics as they were watching that video of Derek White hitting that buzzer beater for the first time. Now they have to turn the page. Can you just walk us through how they are going to do that?
Yeah, so one of the things that's important for the Celtics to realize, as awesome as that finish was, it kind of saved them from what could have been an ugly summer because, Malika, they were up by 9 points with about 4 minutes left in that game, and then their offense went into deep freeze. The Heat threw a zone at them. They were sluggish getting into it. They had 4 or 5 consecutive possessions where they weren't able to generate a good shot. They were only kept a little bit afloat by a couple of fouls and some free throws. And that is important when you think about the possibility of this game coming down to it tight in the fourth quarter again. They went almost 5 full minutes between their last basket and that Derek White tip-in. They've got to be better in the clutch. If this is a close game in the fourth quarter, Malika, based on the way this series is gone, that favors the Heat. So know that the Celtics have got to have a better strategy if it happens again here in Game 7.
Something that we learned in that game, something that we've learned in this series, Brian, is it's just not over until it is over. So let's revisit the three teams that have actually forced a Game 7 after trailing 0-3. The first, it was 1951. The Knicks, they ended up taking the Rochester Royals to a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. And then, you can see the photos there, 43 seasons later, it was the Nuggets who forced a Game 7 in the Western Conference semis against the Jazz. And ultimately, Denver, they would lose the series to future Hall of Famers John Stockton and Karl Malone. And then onward to 2003, it's the Western Conference. It's the first round. Rasheed Wallace, Damon Stoudemire, Zach Randolph, the Trailblazers, they forced a Game 7 against the Mavericks. But eventually, Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, they proved to be just a little bit too much for Portland. So bringing back Richard Jefferson, Kendrick Perkins into the fold here, we've seen it. The Celtics, they are the 151st team to trail 0-3, and all 150 prior teams, they went on to lose the series. But here's the difference. The Celtics, they are the first one to go into this scenario at home. Are you going to keep that on all show?
Well, I'm gonna keep this on through this first block because obviously I think America and I can both agree that this looks outstanding on me. So we'll continue.
A little bit of information for America as well. The Heat do have one more chance to close this out. Their third leading scorer, Tyler Hero, is listed as questionable tonight. But I'll stick with you, Rich. How much of a role is momentum going to play here?
Momentum is huge. Right now, Boston, as I keep my crown for when they win this game, Boston is in the best position that any team out of that 150 that we've ever seen. Why? Because they are at home, right? This is a scenario. That's why it was a little confusing when they lost the first two games at home, then had to go on the road. That's not what you typically see. So Boston is still in the driver's seat. People didn't believe that when I said it many days ago, but because they have the ability to have Game 7 at home on their floor, they are 7-point favorites. So that basically means in this moment right here, Boston should win this game. And no other team has had it at home. So that 150 gets thrown out because this is a unique scenario that we have never seen before.
So I disagree with you.
Of course.
Momentum doesn't play a factor in this. I played in 7 Game 7s, and one of those series we was playing against the Atlanta Hawks, and we could not buy a win on the road, and we lost to the Hawks. We actually got smacked by the Hawks in Game 6, and we came back home. We didn't have the momentum going back into the crib. So at the end of the day, it comes down to your mindset, your leadership in the locker room, and are you going to be able to gather guys and get them ready to play?
All right, Kendrick Nathaniel Perkins, I want to just go on record and say this. Did you guys win any road games in that series?
No.
So it was basically 2-2, 1-1-1, back and forth.
Yeah.
This is a completely different scenario that you're trying to break down. The Boston Celtics, who are the more talented team by far, they won 3 in a row. There is momentum there in Boston's favor. The 3 in a row, the game winner last night, and now they're going home. That is momentum.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
That's different than your Atlanta series.
No, but let me ask you a question. Inside the game, talk about momentum. It looked like Boston had their game won in Game 6 in Miami. And Miami closed the gap and actually went up by 1 and should have won the game, but Derek White, they won the game. But no, seriously. Okay, so that's not momentum going into the next game? Eric Spoelstra going zone, Jimmy Butler, and on top of that, the Heat have won twice on this home court.
No, I'm not disputing any of that, but that was months ago. This is in the last 3 games that we're referencing. This is what I am just trying to clearly say. You win 3 games in a row, you are feeling better, you are feeling more confident than the other team that had just lost 3 games in a row. And lastly, I'll say this. They're at home. You win 3 games in a row, and you get a chance to win at home, I'm sorry.
Well, that's when the fickle question of pressure comes in, right? Is the pressure then on Boston to complete the job, or is the pressure on Miami because all of a sudden you were rolling, you were playing with house money, you had 4 to win 1, and all of a sudden now it's just 1 to win 1. Brian Windhorst, where do you fall on this?
So, watching the Celtics and the Heat play over the last 2 years, now this is the 14th time they've played in the postseason. It's an awkward thing that doesn't go against normal basketball convention. The Celtics, by their own admission, Malika, tend to play better when they are behind. or way ahead. Every team plays well when they're ahead, but the Celtics play without, inhibition when they seem to be behind. That is why they really felt a lot less pressure. By Jason Tatum's own words, they felt relaxed when they were down 3-0 because they didn't have that expectation on their shoulder. I actually think, as crazy as this sounds, if the game is going to be close, it might be better for the Celtics to be behind by a couple of points going into the fourth quarter than ahead by a couple of points. Now, in the last round against Philadelphia and in Game 5 a couple of days ago here, they blew their opponent out of the water in the first half. Took a huge lead in Game 5 here, took a huge lead and maintained it throughout the game against the 76ers. Obviously, that is their preference. But for some reason, even as good and talented as this team is, they don't handle prosperity well. We just saw it 48 hours ago when they were up by 9 with 3 minutes to play. Yep. I'm telling you,